my face while I'm sleeping, you bitch.
My 14-year-old son, Michael, is pretty much terrorizing our life and our family.
Can you move? What the was wrong with you? Move, pervert.
I am a prisoner in my own home.
When you attack me,
I'm not attacking you.
you are. Don't touch me.
It has gotten physical to a point where he's taken swings at me in the past.
Do not hit me again. Stop!
He is very hostile and aggressive towards me.
I'm gonna break everything.
He physically comes after me.
Are you kidding me? You literally just threw this stick at me in my car.
Could be something so simple as just repeatedly hitting me with a pillow.
Get out!
You need to go to school. I said stop. Stop it!
I am becoming more and more afraid of Michael.
When I came into Michael's life, he was 4 years old. I never tried to be his dad. The last 2 years have gotten really bad.
He's punched multiple holes in the wall. He does call me names. I'm a badass, a bitch.
If I ask him to clean his room, he'll tell me I'm not cleaning my room.
At the beginning of Michael's life, his father, Bryant, was not involved. When Michael was 9 years old, his dad petitioned the court for custody. At that time, Michael did not have a relationship with his dad.
Michael's father told Michael he could threaten us with CPS. It's not right at all.
About 1.5 years ago, Michael's dad committed suicide, and that destroyed Michael's life. That is when the anger and the physical aggression started to come out in Michael.
Don't touch me. Don't touch. Ow!
We have called 911 for safety reasons and sent him to the hospital. I feel like I've lost total control of this situation.
Okay, pretty chaotic.
Yes, it's extremely chaotic.
What do you think your primary mission is as a mother?
Right now, my primary mission is to pretty much make sure that I don't have to see my child 6 feet in the ground or behind a glass window.
So you're doing damage control.
Yeah, we're trying to, pretty much we're on the road of just trying to survive. We're pretty much walking on glass and it's cracking and pretty much almost falling out from underneath us.
Alex, you've been in Michael's life since he was 4 or 5, right?
Yes,
Are there times where you do connect with him?
it hasn't been in a long time.
Long time.
He was pretty much made to believe that Alex is a bad person and no matter what, he shouldn't have anything to do with him.
When we talk about his behavior, most of it is pretty aggressive behavior. He was kicked off the hockey team for hitting another kid in the nose, right?
Yes.
He's hit you in the face. He's done $10,000 to $15,000 worth of damage in the house. We're talking about holes in walls, tearing off sheetrock, breaking doors, things of that nature. He's locked his grandfather out, grabbed a knife during an argument. He screams, hits the dog. I looked at his most recent report card and he had all Fs.
Yes.
I mean, across the board in all of his classes. When we were interviewing him on the phone, he cursed 29 times. So a lot of it is just kind of poor impulse control and just kind of doing what he wants to do. And there's a lot of anger and frustration there, right?
You made the comment of he wants to do what he wants to do. That's a lot of it. Trigger points are because of that. If we tell him to clean his room or you need to get up and go to school, it then becomes an argument because I don't want to go to school today.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to have to. And I'm going to fight you all the way to the end of it.
I usually only get mad around my mom.
Yourself.
My mom just likes to push my buttons.
Sakes, get out.
Don't.
She starts fights.
Go.
Ow! Don't!
I've gotten mad to the point where I blacked out and I do irrational things.
Don't.
She should not be afraid of me. I've never hurt her. Most of the time, she harasses me. She starts pushing my buttons and then starts recording, so.
Don't.
Give me the phone.
Don't.
I don't want to be videotaped.
No,
Videotape me.
because I'm showing your grandma.
She's trying to get me in trouble. My mother overreacts over the tiniest situations. It's really confusing, and it is overdramatic.
Throw me down the stairs, right here.
I've been a little depressed and not really happy ever since my dad passed away, and it's been going a little bit downhill ever since then. I'm not really angry at anyone. I can just get really frustrated sometimes. I enjoyed living with my dad more than my mom because I had a little bit more freedom. Me and my dad, we never really fought, and I was much healthier with my dad. My mom feeds me a lot of fast food. I want a better relationship with my mom.
Would you agree that when you have a family, everybody in the family has a certain role that they're supposed to play? Like, you have a little sister, it's 18 months old, right?
Yes.
And she has a role, and her role right now is to be a baby. What's your role?
I would say just my role is just to be a kid.
Right. Great answer, by the way, because I couldn't agree with you more. And at 14, what's a kid supposed to be doing, generally speaking?
Going to school and having a social life.
In a family unit, is there supposed to be somebody in charge?
Yes.
Somebody that runs things? Is that your mom's role?
Yes.
Okay, so she's supposed to be in charge.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you and your brother and ultimately your little sister are to be supportive of the leader?
Yeah.
Are you?
Most of the time, yes.
And you said one of your roles is to go to school.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing actually very well.
Really? Because here are some notes from your school. Refusal to work, made comments about blowing up the bus while on it. That seems pretty antagonistic to folding into the school scene.
I was not the only one doing this. We were all talking about this game that we were doing.
So you weren't really talking about blowing up the bus?
No.
All right, let's take a look at a typical argument between Michael and his mom.
I can just wait until they're here.
You need to go.
No, this is my room now.
Move.
This is my room. Remember, you want to break all my shit and do that.
Move. You opened the garage doors and the doors. Move.
No, you want to go in my room and just throw everything. Why should I not?
I'm not. Move.
Stay in your room.
Move. Don't.
You were the one open the door.
Stop it. Move.
I told you to leave my room.
You
And it took
opened.
an hour. An hour, and you were sitting on the floor,
Move.
laying on it, and in my closet, and touching my dirty ass underwear.
Can you move?
What the was wrong with you?
Move.
Pervert.
Move. I just want the garage door shut.
Okay, I'll go shut the garage door, and then you can go stay in the room.
Don't tell me what to do. Move.
Oh shit, throw me down the stairs right here.
Move.
Push me. Go. Ow! Don't!
Okay, Michael, you found that hard to watch. Why?
Usually when this happens, when my mom records something like that, it's usually right after she provokes me. Like I said in the video, she sat in my room for 1 hour and just sitting there yelling, screaming, and throwing all my stuff everywhere. Like I just got a new dresser and she just threw we have a dog's dish for water. She just threw it all over my bed and my dresser, and actually it's moldy, if you don't remember. Now.
Well, hang on a second. Now, I want an honest response here. Seriously. Is that true? Had you been in combat with him preceding that video?
No.
So he's just totally lying.
I would say yes.
Michael does not respect me. He says things like, "You're not my real dad, I don't have to listen to you." He's called me worthless, fat, lazy, ass, you name it. He's pretty much called me it.
I do not think Michael respects me at all. I feel like I've lost total control of this situation.
Michael and Venessa fight constantly,
Move.
You're a redneck.
and it doesn't matter what it is about. Michael's a very hard child to parent.
There are times that Michael has no control over his anger and his actions.
Michael and I have gotten into some battles when Michael and Venessa lived at my house. Michael has called me all kinds of vulgar names, sworn at me that I was worthless as an aunt.
He has exhibited the anger towards me in physical, verbal, and emotional ways.
I had a lot of damage done with inside my house from him. The more you engage with Michael, the louder, the more destructive, the meaner he gets.
Michael's my first grandson, and to see him not care about how he attacks me, how he tries to get me to punch him, that's not right.
Michael has the tendency to exaggerate the truth. Michael has gone to school and told his teachers that Venessa or Alex are abusing him, which is not true. I don't understand or know where he gets these lies.
I want the grandson that doesn't want to provoke me into attacking him. I want my grandson that doesn't use language to tell me that I'm worthless. I want that grandson back.
What's y'all's theory about why Michael's on this path?
Honestly, I don't think he knows why he's on this path. I think that through actions outside of his own, people have given him examples. I'll use the custody battle to where the father belittled the mother, and the mother wasn't worth anything. And he's just taken that same step to where, just like his father said, she isn't worth anything. You don't have to listen to her. He's now uses that.
Could I say?
Please.
They said that my father mistreated my mother, and I would say that's true, but also my mother did the same thing to my father. They both got really heated over what my mom would not let me out of the house when it was my dad's day to have me, and my dad would do this. Well, my dad wouldn't do the same thing.
I'm gonna actually disagree with that very much, because I made sure as a parent that was not allowed to see his daughter that I would never let my daughter hide you ever from him. I know you've been told that from your father. We never, and I would never allow that. So please give.
But there was
everyone
animosity between these two.
I would say that there was a little bit of confrontation, and I feel like it always came off that I felt like I was trying to defend myself from a story.
When I would go with Venessa and pick Michael up, we couldn't go in his father's driveway. We had to sit out away.
They would literally call the cops and try
Yep.
to have you arrested for trespassing.
You know you did. You would come up to my grandparents and you would yell, swear, and so would my mother, and so would my other grandfather.
No.
The end result is still that he's caught in the crossfire
correct.
of all of these adults going back and forth and fighting. And what do you expect to happen when we write on the slate of who these children are?
Michael does use a lot of bad language.
Hit me in the face and go yourself.
I would say that he swears regularly and uses the word and the B word.
You're redneck.
I do use curse words, but I learned it from my mom.
I do use foul language now in front of him. I am not setting a good example for him when I do that.
You know, Michael, I asked you what your role was. And you said, my role is to be a kid and to get an education and have a social life. And you're really exactly right about that. You know, Robin and I raised two boys, Jay and Jordan. And I told my boys growing up, you've got two jobs. One is to get an education, and two is to have a damn good time doing it. Your job, Michael, is to get an education and have a good time. And you're not having a good time. And this is happening in a situation where you're miserable and you're making everybody else miserable because things have happened. I mean, to lose
I don't think he actually understands that he is making it that miserable, because when he does this, he tends to black out and not be there.
Well, I think that may be pretty spot on. These are some quotes from you. You said, I feel out of control when I get angry. I go into a black rage. And then you said, I get amused by antagonizing and adding fuel to the fire. I usually do it for fun.
Yeah, I said that
And I would explain it as like if you're watching like the Joker movie. Like he's sitting there and he's looking at you and then his Joker face comes on and he'll be like, ha, 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 and you just sit there and he's gone.
Can you recall doing that?
I remember this very, very well. She would come downstairs, she would turn on the light, and she would come downstairs, yell at me, and antagonize me, saying jokes about my dad, saying how, oh, your dad's a piece of and you're ugly like him, and you're just a piece of you should go kill yourself. And that's what she would come downstairs and say to me.
Is he right that you say these things to him?
I told him once that I believe that his dad truly loved him and he did not hate me as much as he thinks he did. Because I said that there was only a few hours from the time that his dad died to the time that I picked him up from his house and he was the last person with him. So I said, I am very glad that your dad did not kill you. I have never said that I think he could or he should. It's more of that when I say something, he takes it out of context and changes the words.
Okay, can I say something? She would say, hey, you're not worth going to jail. I wouldn't kill you. Why don't you go kill yourself, or I don't have to go to jail and pay a bail bond, and that and then you're lucky that your dad did not kill you because he did hate you and he didn't hate me and I was a miserable child.
Are you saying you haven't had that conversation with him?
I have never had that conversation that I recall.
Well, anything in a country mile of this conversation that either of you are characterizing is so inappropriate
I agree.
to have between a mother and child. It is so off the chart. It is so...
Well, the reason why
There is no reason.
Can I give a few examples?
We'll be right back.
There are times that my children have seen me argue with Michael. We are not successful at shielding them from the confrontation. My 2-year-old is seeing a life or death battle with my 14-year-old son, and she's extremely scared.
Don't touch Why me! is your phone over there?
No. Go now.
I am extremely nervous that I'm failing as a mother.
Michael, I want to appeal to your greed. I want to appeal to your greed because I think we talked about roles, and I think there are roles in life too. We go through phases. And one thing I know about teenagers is they want what they want when they want it, and they want it right now. And that's okay. That's kind of comes with the territory. And I want to appeal to your greed because I want you to know what you want and greedily go after getting it. I'm asking you to be your own best friend. And you're not being your own best friend here. You have 4 people sitting here that love you greatly. You've got 4 people here that love you enough to stop their lives and drive all the way across the United States to come down here and sit here for you. And I can't tell you how many teens I deal with that just don't have that kind of commitment around them.
And I thank them for that.
So many kids don't have people in their corner, but you do. And you have had some frustrations in life, and I'm sorry for that. But the question is, what are you going to do about it now? And you're old enough now that your decisions start affecting you. What you do in school affects you because you're going to be selling those skills to the world. And this is all going to determine what kind of quality of life you have. And can your mother learn to be a better partner parent? Sure. But you need to be a good upstream manager and be a better partner son, a better role model for your brother. And it's time for you guys to decide, let's do this together. Now, I want to introduce someone to this situation that I would really like to introduce as a representative of an intervention team that I want to bring in here to work with you guys when you leave here. I want to introduce Erin Pash. Now, Erin is the co-founder of Ellie Family Services. She's a marriage and family therapist, and she is considered an expert in relationships. And she's joining us now virtually. Erin, are you there?
I'm here. Hi, Dr. Phil. Hello, everyone.
Erin, thank you so much for joining us. Talk to us about what you guys envision from Ellie and everything that you have in mind here.
At Ellie, what makes us really unique is our creative approach to working with complex family dynamics. So what we will plan to do is create a team of people who can both help address individual traumas that are contributing to the chaos, and make sure that everybody feels like they're getting individual support in the process of working through some of this really deep family stuff.
Well, Erin, that makes perfect sense. And kids this age should be full of joy. The house should be full of joy. And if everybody can lean into this and work at it together, I think you're on the cusp of some major changes here. And I think you're willing to do that, right? You want to do that.
Yes.
Is this something that you're willing to lean into and take this help?
I am willing to take any help that I can get.
Christopher, what do you think about what we're saying?
I hope he buys in because I know we're going to try. And if he'll buy in and follow through and with support, I'd love to be back here in a year or two and show a great success.
What he's saying is exactly right. And it's up to you. You choose the life you want. And it's there for the taking. It's there for the taking. And I'm putting my faith and confidence in you, so I believe in you. Don't let me down.
Yeah, and I thank you for that.
All right.
His family claims he's challenging,
Need to go to school. Get out.
Don't touch me.
misunderstood,
So you weren't really talking about blowing up the bus?
No.
and who's to blame.
He shoved me.
How could he shove you into it if you weren't in there?
I was in there.
You just said you weren't.
New Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.